Hello and welcome. Most of us have been told that to get vitamin D, we need to spend time in the sun or take a supplement. But for those of us over 60, the real story is that one of the most powerful sources of vitamin D might already be sitting in your refrigerator, waiting for a simple 15-minute trick. This matters more than you might think. Getting enough vitamin D is directly linked to the strength of your bones, which affects how steady you feel on stairs or walking on an uneven sidewalk. It's tied to the resilience of your immune system, helping you fend off seasonal bugs. And it plays a role in your mood and energy levels, influencing how you plan your week and engage with the people you love. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to unlock the vitamin D in ordinary mushrooms using nothing but a window. You'll learn which types of mushrooms work best, a foolproof skillet method that makes them taste incredible, and the simple science of how this supports not just your bones, but your immune health, too. Stay with me until the end, because I'll be sharing the #1 cooking mistake that can make mushrooms waterlogged and ruin the benefits, and a simple way to know if this strategy is a good fit for you. As always, there are no scare tactics here. Just clear, science-backed information to help you make informed choices and guidance on when to have a conversation with your doctor. It can feel like health advice changes every day, and finding trustworthy information is a challenge. If you appreciate these straightforward, science-based conversations, take a moment to subscribe. Our community is a place for clear answers. I'd love to know in the comments, what is one food you've heard is healthy, but you're not quite sure how to prepare it? Let's begin with the foundation of this entire technique. Think of it as understanding nature's clever design. The fifth key idea to grasp is why mushrooms are like tiny, natural sponges for sunlight. Inside the cell walls of a mushroom is a compound called ergosterol. This might sound like a complicated science term, but the concept is very simple. Ergosterol is to a mushroom what cholesterol is to our own skin. When ultraviolet light from the sun hits our skin, it triggers a chemical reaction that converts that cholesterol into vitamin D3, the form our bodies make. Mushrooms do the exact same thing, but they create a slightly different form called vitamin D2. For years, there was a debate about whether D2 was as effective as D3. But large-scale studies have confirmed that our bodies can and do use vitamin D2 very effectively to raise the vitamin D levels in our blood. It does the job it's supposed to do, helping us absorb calcium for our bones and supporting our immune cells. So, when a mushroom is growing in a dark, commercial facility, its ergosterol is just sitting there, waiting. It has the potential to become vitamin D, but the switch hasn't been flipped. When you bring those mushrooms home and expose them to sunlight, you are flipping that switch. The UV rays, even through a window, penetrate the mushroom's thin skin and convert that dormant ergosterol into active, usable vitamin D2. You can actually see a subtle change. Sometimes, mushrooms that have been sunbathing will take on a slightly more golden, toasty hue. This is the magic happening right on your kitchen counter. It's a completely natural, biological process that we are simply harnessing. The key is to remember that you are not adding anything to the mushroom. You are activating something that is already there. This is a crucial point. It's not an artificial process. It's a natural one that we are simply initiating before we cook. Now that we know the basic science, let's move to a very practical question. Does this work with any old mushroom? The fourth point to understand is how to choose the best mushroom batteries for this vitamin D trick. While nearly all mushrooms contain some ergosterol, some types are naturally equipped with more of it, making them far more efficient at creating and storing vitamin D when you give them a little sun. Think of it like choosing between a small, weak battery and a large, powerful one. Both can hold a charge, but one will give you a lot more energy. Standing in the produce aisle, it's easy to feel a bit overwhelmed. You see the standard white button mushrooms, the brown cremini, the large portobellos, and the more exotic-looking shiitake or oyster mushrooms. For our purposes, there's a clear hierarchy. The all-stars are often shiitake and maitake mushrooms. Studies have shown that when exposed to UV light, a single serving of these mushrooms, about 3 to 4 ounces, can generate several thousand international units (IUs) of vitamin D. That's often multiple times the recommended daily intake, making them incredibly potent. Next in line, and perhaps the best combination of availability, price, and vitamin D potential, are the common brown mushrooms, cremini, and their fully grown version, the portobello. These are fantastic choices. They are readily available in almost every supermarket and are very effective at this process. A plate of sliced, sun-exposed cremini mushrooms can easily provide you with 100% of your daily vitamin D needs. What about the classic white button mushroom? It works too. It contains ergosterol and will create vitamin D, but it's generally less potent than its brown-capped cousins. If white mushrooms are what you have, or what's on sale, by all means, use them. You will still be getting a benefit. Just know that you might need a larger portion to get the same vitamin D impact as you would from shiitake or cremini. A quick safety note is important here. This technique is for commercially grown mushrooms you buy at the grocery store. Please, never forage for wild mushrooms unless you are a certified expert. Many wild mushrooms are poisonous, and it is not a risk worth taking. And for those who manage conditions like gout, it's worth noting that mushrooms contain purines. For most people, this isn't an issue, but if you've been advised to follow a low-purine diet, it's a good idea to discuss mushroom intake with your doctor. So now you have your mushrooms of choice. Our third, and most hands-on point, is the sunlight trick in action. Let's walk through the simple, step-by-step guide to make sure you get it right every time. The goal is to maximize the surface area of the mushroom that is exposed to the sunlight. The more surface area the light can touch, the more ergosterol gets converted into vitamin D. This is why simply placing a whole mushroom on the windowsill isn't very effective. The magic is in the preparation. Here is your 3-step action plan to supercharge your mushrooms. First is the prep. Gently wipe your mushrooms clean with a damp paper towel. It's best not to soak them in water, as they are like little sponges and will absorb the liquid, which can make them steam instead of sear when you cook them. Once they're clean, slice them. A thickness of about 1/4 inch is perfect. If you're using a mushroom like a cremini or shiitake, pay attention to the gills on the underside. The gills have an enormous amount of surface area, so placing them gill side up on your plate or baking sheet is the absolute best way to maximize vitamin D production. Second is the exposure. Take your tray of sliced, gill side up mushrooms and place it where it will get the most direct light. A sunny spot on a kitchen counter next to a window works wonderfully. You don't need to put them outside. The UVB rays that trigger this reaction can pass through standard window glass. On a bright, sunny day, especially during the middle of the day when the sun is strongest, as little as 15 to 20 minutes is enough to create a substantial amount of vitamin D. If it's a more overcast or cloudy day, you might want to leave them for an hour or even 2. You can't overdo it. The mushroom will stop converting ergosterol once its potential is reached. Third is the storage. Once your mushrooms have had their sunbath, they are ready to go. The vitamin D they've created is remarkably stable. It won't disappear if you put them in the fridge. You can cook them right away, or you can store them in a paper bag in the refrigerator for several days. A paper bag is better than a plastic one because it allows them to breathe and prevents them from getting slimy. The vitamin D will be locked in, ready for you whenever you decide to cook them. If this simple trick is making sense, a quick click on the subscribe button helps our community grow and ensures you won't miss our future health deep dives. Now, while the vitamin D story is impressive, it's only half the picture. This brings us to our second point, understanding that mushrooms offer a powerful immune-supporting duo. There's a common myth that mushrooms are just a vehicle for vitamin D, or maybe just a low-calorie flavor enhancer. But that overlooks their most profound benefit for our immune health, especially as we get older. Mushrooms are packed with unique compounds called beta-glucans. So, what exactly are beta-glucans and how do they work? The simplest way to think of them is as personal trainers for your immune system. As we age, our immune system can sometimes become a bit less precise. It can either be slow to respond to a real threat, like a virus, or it can overreact to something harmless, which contributes to chronic inflammation and that general feeling of itchiness. Beta-glucans don't just boost the immune system. That's a bit of a clumsy term. A boosted immune system isn't always a good thing. In autoimmune conditions, the system is already in overdrive. Instead, beta-glucans are known as biological response modifiers or immunomodulators. This means they help your immune system become smarter and more balanced. Imagine your immune system has a team of security guards. These are your white blood cells. Beta-glucans don't just give them more weapons. They give them better training. They help these cells get better at recognizing a real intruder versus a harmless visitor. This means they can mount a swift, effective attack against a pathogen, but they also learn when to stand down, which helps calm unnecessary inflammation. For seniors, this is incredibly important. A balanced, intelligent immune system is one of our greatest assets for staying healthy and active through cold and flu season and beyond. To get these benefits, the mushrooms need to be cooked. The heat helps to break down the tough cell walls of the mushroom, releasing the beta-glucans and making them available for your body to use. This is another reason why eating raw mushrooms isn't the best idea from a nutritional standpoint. Shiitake, maitake, and oyster mushrooms are particularly famous for their high beta-glucan content. But again, the humble and affordable cremini mushroom is also a very good source. So when you're sun-charging your mushrooms for vitamin D, you're also prepping an ingredient that will deliver these incredible immune-balancing compounds once you cook it. You're getting two profound health benefits in one simple food. We've covered the why, the which, and the how. We know mushrooms can be a source of vitamin D and immune-supporting beta-glucans. This all leads to the most important part, making them taste delicious so you'll actually want to eat them. This brings us to our number one point, the perfect skillet method and the single biggest mistake to avoid. So many people have told me they don't like mushrooms because they find them rubbery, slimy, or bland. Almost every time, this is not a problem with the mushroom, but with the cooking technique. The goal is to get a beautiful, golden brown, caramelized mushroom that is deeply flavorful and has a satisfying, meaty texture. Here is the simple, foolproof method. First, get your skillet hot over medium-high heat. A wide pan is best, like a stainless steel or cast iron skillet, because it gives the mushrooms plenty of room. Now, here is the most crucial step. Add your sliced mushrooms to a completely dry pan. No oil, no butter, no salt, nothing. The biggest mistake people make is adding fat and salt to the pan at the beginning. Mushrooms are over 90% water. If you add fat and salt right away, the salt will draw all that water out, and the mushrooms will immediately start to steam and boil in their own liquid. They will never get brown. They will just turn a sad, gray color and become rubbery. So, let them cook in the dry, hot pan. Spread them in a single layer if you can. Don't overcrowd the pan. Cook in batches if you have to. For the first few minutes, it might not seem like much is happening. Then, you'll start to hear a sizzling sound as they release their water. Let that water completely evaporate. Keep stirring occasionally. You'll notice the mushrooms shrink in size and start to get a bit of color. They might even make a little squeaking sound against the pan. This is exactly what you want. This process concentrates their natural, earthy flavor. Only after the pan is dry and the mushrooms are starting to brown is it time to add your fat and flavorings. Add a drizzle of olive oil or a small pat of butter. Now they will sizzle and fry, not steam. This is when you add your finely chopped garlic, a sprig of thyme, or whatever seasonings you like. Sauté for just another minute or two until the garlic is fragrant and the mushrooms are beautifully golden. Turn off the heat, and only now, at the very end, do you season with salt and pepper. This method gives you perfectly cooked, intensely flavorful mushrooms every single time. And remember that vitamin D you so carefully created? It's a fat-soluble vitamin. That means your body needs some fat to absorb it properly. So, by adding that little bit of oil or butter at the end, you are not only making the mushrooms taste better, you are ensuring you get the full nutritional benefit. Pairing them with other foods containing healthy fats, like eggs in an omelet, avocado on toast, or a salad with an olive oil dressing, further enhances that absorption. Let's bring all of this together. The power to create a significant, food-based source of vitamin D is likely sitting in your kitchen right now. It doesn't require expensive supplements or complicated recipes. It just requires a handful of mushrooms, a sunny window, and about 15 minutes of your time. By slicing some cremini or shiitake mushrooms, letting them soak up some sun, and then cooking them using a simple dry sauté method, you are doing more than just making a meal. You are taking a proactive step for your health. You are building stronger bones, which gives you the confidence to stay active and independent. You are supporting a smarter, more balanced immune system, which is your best defense for staying well. Your small action step for this week is simple. The next time you are at the store, pick up a container of mushrooms. Try the sunlight trick. Use the skillet method. Maybe spoon them over your morning eggs or add them to a soup. See how easy it is, and notice how much better they taste. It's these small, consistent actions that, over time, build a foundation of true, lasting health. For those who want to read more, I will link to some easy-to-understand articles from trusted health sources in the description below. Now, I would love to hear from you. In the comments below, please share which type of mushroom you're going to try this trick with first. Is it the familiar cremini, or will you go for the shiitake? Your experiences help everyone in our community learn. If you found this video valuable, please consider giving it a like and sharing it with a friend or family member who might also find it helpful. And be sure to subscribe to the channel so we can continue on this journey to better health together. Stay well, stay curious, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.